and welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of race number 4 of Season 4 of the UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. As we are here under the lights at the World Center of Racing, this is the Daytona International Speedway. Getting ready here tonight for the running of the Swamp Motorsports 140, 56 laps of racing for these drivers here tonight. By my last count, 27 drivers poised to take the green flag here this evening at this 2.5 mile super speedway. I'm Seth Cole, and tonight we're going to be seeing these drivers reaching the halfway point of the season. They have tackled Talladega iRacing Super Speedway and Atlanta Super Speedway, and now it's time for the fourth track to make its debut on the schedule. And as a matter of fact, this is making its debut in more ways than one. In the past 3 seasons, we actually went to the Legacy 2008 version of Daytona, the bumpy Daytona. This is the first time that the more up-to-date Daytona is going to be run on the schedule. And based on what I saw in practice, we are in for some very good double and maybe even 3-wide racing. The cars look a lot steadier in the corners. They were able to bump draft a lot better. Certainly a far cry from what we ended up seeing at iRacing Super Speedway and Atlanta Super Speedway, where it seemed like it was very difficult to be able to keep a tight draft without possibly giving an errant bump or pushing up the racetrack into somebody else. So we'll see if we can avoid the caution flag here tonight, as much as we've had it in the first 3 races on the season. But coming into tonight, everybody is chasing Team Trap House's Dylan Poteet, who picked up his 2nd straight victory last week at iRacing Super Speedway. Subsequently comes in with the points lead, 81 points because of his back-to-back victories over Ryan Potter, and everybody else trying to close up the points gap as well, triple digits behind drivers like Ty Smith, Blake Trawick, who is leading the rookie points right now, Connor Holden, all looking to eat into that points lead here tonight, all looking for their first win on the season as well. Zach Johnson is the only other driver that has previously gone to victory lane. He, of course, won the season opener at Talladega. Group qualifying is about concluded here. Unless something changes, looks like we're going to have our 4th different pole sitter on the season. So far, we've had DJ Stagner, Bronson Stafford, and Mike Tellier lead us to green. And it looks like, with qualifying getting down to its final few seconds, JP3, John Poole III, is going to capture his first pole position on the season. That'll be a first pole of his Baadteshop Superspeedway Series career here tonight at Daytona. And it looks like it is official. Standings are complete. And it is going to be John Poole III who is going to capture the inside of the front row. And he's going to be alongside of the 16 of Tom Bourne as we take a look at the starting lineup. You, of course, are going to see the drivers that elected to take time in this qualifying session. Not all 27 drivers will necessarily be shown on the starting lineup. Got a few drivers that are former racers here in this series making their first starts tonight, and then a couple of drivers that are also making their first starts of their career here this evening, as it looked like we only had 10 drivers take time here in this one. Everybody else trying to get those bonus points for most position gained from start to finish, based off of the random qualifying. So I'll try and run down who is where outside of the top 10. Blake Trawick, Shane Tyrion, they're row 6. Jeffrey McClintock, he's making his first start of his career in the 78. He's making up row 7 with Wolf Stanwell, Cody Lamas, and 2-time winner Dylan Poteet in row 8. Roberto Ramirez, Ty Smith, row 9. The top 20 completed by Ryan Potter, and former driver in the series, former championship competitor, as a matter of fact, former winner in the series, that being Michael Norman. That completes the top 20. Robert Kenny making his 2nd start on the season, 21st. Matthew Rodriguez, 22nd. Sean Billman back on the inside of row 12, alongside of Jason Shuey, who's making his first start on the year, former driver in this series from previous seasons. Matt Muir, Cody Boussard, and Scott Puckett got to make up the 27 drivers that will be racing here tonight. So we're waiting on a few drivers to grid up here. 48 and the 63, and then we should be able to get underway. all the other manufacturers trying to break into victory lane, as Toyota has been the only manufacturer to capture a checkered flag so far this season, with Zach Johnson and Dylan Poteet. Highest starting Chevrolet is on the pole position in John Poole III. Highest starting Ford is Carl Faust, rolling off on the outside of row number 2. So 56 laps of racing here tonight. That is the regulation scheduled distance. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's all the laps we're going to run. We do have overtime green-white checkers available if they are necessary. Now let's see how these drivers are going to be out of the gate. I mentioned these drivers, these cars, the current Xfinity cars looked a lot steadier through the corners in practice than they have the last couple of weeks. So maybe these drivers will settle themselves in here at the initial drop of the green flag, and we can maybe get ourselves to a round of green flag pit stops. We haven't seen a round of green flag pit stops since the season opener at Talladega. Traversing into turn number 3. Daytona is the second smallest superspeedway that we have on the schedule, second only to the 1.5 miles of Atlanta Superspeedway. Just a little bit smaller than Talladega Superspeedway. There's about a 1/10 of a mile difference between the length of the track in Alabama and the track here in Daytona Beach, Florida. First time this season, we're running nighttime conditions as well. We'll see if that little bit of extra grip will help these drivers here tonight. As John Poole III and Tom Bourne will lead us down, and we are underway in the Swamp Motorsports 140 at Daytona. The back straightaway as we had near contact for 4th. Carl Faust and Joey Chapman nearly getting together there through 1 and 2. That's Chevrolet's hook up on the bottom. That's Andrew Siegel in the 5. The Energizer Menard Chevrolet pushing John Poole III out in front. Tom Bourne's Toyota Supra tried a side draft, trying to toe that outside line, which includes himself and the 2 of Matt Dyer, and it will be John Poole III leading the first lap of this race. He's gotten kind of broken up. On the inside there's Dylan Body in the 26. You're going to see a lot of drivers that are running very similar colored, similar looking liveries here tonight, with it being the Swamp Motorsports 140. You've got Swamp Motorsports and Team Trap House, which are subset teams of each other. They're running the black and green Swamp Motorsports liveries. There you see the 6 of Chad Winstead there. Body, Dylan Poteet, Jeffrey McClintock, Blake Trawick. They're all running those liveries. We'll see some more of them peppered throughout the field here tonight. So I think that time by barely. I think Tom Bourne might have led that lap, but it was really close between himself and John Poole III, as dead even going into turn 1. Now the inside line prevails. Here comes the top side off of turn 2 with the big run. Top line has now picked up the 6 of Chad Winstead. Inside line, third car is Joey Chapman in 60. And Tom Bourne, push around the top, now dives to the bottom, and he is now out in front leading this race. A lot of dancing right there out of turn number 4. Joey Chapman going to get maybe put in the middle 3 wide. He could actually go up the middle 3 wide himself. I think that was an offensive move rather than getting shuffled out. And look at that, by himself, side drafting the top, side drafting the bottom, and he's 3 wide of the lead. No drafting help though. Can he do it on his own? Does not look like it. He's putting the sucker hole here down the back straightaway. He'll look to try and side draft both lines. We got a car down in the apron there in the backstretch. That appeared to be the 24 of Wolf Stanwell, who has pulled it off the racetrack and pulled it to pit road. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Wolf Stanwell making his, I believe, second start on the season. Yes, indeed. Stanwell raced back at iRacing Superspeedway, where he finished 17th. This is not going to be the point tonight he was looking for. This is going to drop him at least off the lead lap, especially with that tow taking place off of turn number 2. I believe that everybody in that shot is our entire field, the 25 drivers. There were supposed to be 27 drivers that took the green flag. 26 actually did. And 25 of them on the lead lap and in this lead pack right now. Whoa! Someone way wide back there. I think that might have been Robert Kenny in the 10. He's got the wall coming up to turn number 4. But they keep it together. And we are now 6 laps into this race. Lap 6 just went on the board. Tom Bourne continuing to show the way. That outside line propelled him there, and they've since not really been able to get anything generated up in that second groove. Matt Dyer alongside of Andrew Siegel for 3rd place. Look at all the shuffling down this back straightaway. A lot of darting left and right. Matt Muir jumping up to the top side there, mid-pack. Whoa, Dylan Body on the apron, and he saves it. Or does he? Wow. That was Kyle Busch-esque, and look at this, Sean Billman pulling up there, maybe to try and help the 26, give him a bump. Remember, the apron is not out of bounds in this series. You can go below the double yellow line and advance your position as much as you want. I think right there, Billman was trying to give the 26 a bump, get him back up to speed, and give him some momentum to get back up to the front. John Poole III actually got the apron that time through 1 and 2. Got to be careful of that. Tremendous credit to the 12 of Carl Faust, who drops all the way back to 13th, but he gave a lot of space to Dylan Body for him to get that thing back underneath him. Otherwise, he probably would have run him over and we would have been under caution for the first time here tonight. Matt Dyer was just commenting how that middle line was not getting anything going since Tom Bourne was able to swing around for the lead, but Matt Dyer now goes to the point, and he will lead that lap. First lap led here tonight for the Ford Mustangs. All 3 manufacturers split laps now. John Poole III for Chevrolet, Tom Bourne for Toyota, and Matt Dyer for the Blue Ovals. Robert Kenny making his 2nd start on the year. He's up in that outside line, right behind the 60 of Joey Chapman. I believe that's Ryan Potter. Yes, it is, in the 99. He was 4th on that outside line. One of the many Swamp Motorsports liveries here tonight. Ryan Potter 2nd in the point stands. Dylan Poteet 81 points out. Looking to close up some ground here tonight. Poteet right now is hired back in the 22nd position. He's actually the last car in the lead pack right now. Nearly 3 seconds off of the race lead. We got a group of 3 that have lost the draft. Michael Norman, Cody Lamas, and Cody Boussard. They are all working together right now. From 23rd back to 25th, hoping for a caution to come out and save them. It's about a 1.5 seconds from Michael Norman up to Dylan Poteet that you saw right there in the 31 car. Poteet, 2-time winner, back-to-back winners. Tom Bourne looking to get the race lead back. He's jumped back up to the top line that got him to the front in the first place. Poteet playing the strategy here, at least to get him going, kind of riding at the back. Far cry from what he did in the last couple of weeks, where he was up front often in those races. Led the most laps last week at iRacing Superspeedway. Let's watch this shot down the back straightaway. I talk about the slicing and dicing, the movement. There you see it, Matt Muir. GoPro Toyota Supra moving from the bottom to the top. Not too much movement that time. Of course, the one. Oh, John Poole III gets the apron there. course, the one time we get that pan shot down the back straightaway, they don't go slicing and dicing like we've seen before. Now that inside line, because of the 32 getting on the apron, momentum lost, it's broken up, and now the top line's taking advantage. Tom Bourne back to the point, leaves the door open down low. Chad Winstead's going to fill it. He's going to look for the top position. Take a look at this amazing shot we got down the back straightaway here, courtesy of our drone camera. Look at this. Great way to be able to see which line's got the momentum. Oh, wow. Andrew Siegel. I don't know if that's on purpose, him bailing out of the throttle and dropping back or not. Got a pretty good shot of that. As Winstead edges ahead for the moment, courtesy of the draft of Matt Dyer and John Poole III. Tom Bourne, though, side draft, tight side draft off of turn 4. Who gets this lap led? I think it might be Bourne. Ooh, close. I think it was Winstead. By maybe a little less than half a car length. 12 laps in. We don't know exactly these drivers, how far they can go before they'd have to start thinking about making some green flag pit stops. So far, we have been able to keep things under green. Saw Wolf Stanwell make that unscheduled tow to pit road after he came to a stop on the apron of the exit of turn number 2. He is still on pit road, 8 laps down. Unscheduled pit stop just moments ago for the 3 of Jason Shuey. He has fallen a lap down and may lose more. Back in the 25th position. Chad Winstead, lap number 12, out in front. 44 laps to go here at Daytona. We'll be back to Daytona in about 3 weeks' time. This will be the track that will set us up for the championship scenario in the season finale at iRacing Superspeedway. Mike Tellier down there on the apron. Oh no! There we go! Big wreck, caution's out. That's the entire front of the field. Tom Bourne, Dylan Poteet, Andrew Siegel. There's McClintock. I saw Winstead was in it. Matt Dyer was in it. John Poole III was in it. And Tom Bourne. That car is dug into the grass somehow. I don't know if the suspension was broke in the rear housing of that car or what, but he could not get the thing refired and turned back onto the pavement to be able to drive back to pit road. He had to call the tow. Caution's out for the first time here tonight, and that started right up at the very front of the field. I think that collected most of the drivers inside of the top 5, if not the top 10. And a couple of drivers got some late hits. I noticed that Dylan Poteet took a late hit there in the infield grass of turn 3. You can even see a couple of drivers that race back to the stripe here. They've got damage, front-end damage on Robert Kenny, Blake Trawick, Ryan Potter, Matt Muir. Is that Bronson Stafford back there with no nose? 61, the 2-time champion of the series, I believe it is. Let's go back and see what exactly happened here. We're going to have to take a couple of looks of what went down. Happened so suddenly, I couldn't exactly tell who it started with. The way that one of the cars jumped in the air, I'm almost wondering if gap whack came into play. Let's see. Can we pinpoint it? Oh, John Poole III, has he hooked the 2 in the right rear? Nope. Oh, bad bump from Joey Chapman into Tom Bourne up in the outside lane. That's what happened. There's the shot right there for Dylan Poteet. Front-end damage after getting into Andrew Siegel. McClintock, I don't know if he hit anything or if he spun around the 16 of Tom Bourne. But a lot more drivers were involved in this one. Let's take a look at the view of the 2 of Matt Dyer. Yeah, I believe everybody, at least in the top 7, was involved in this. We had one car up and over I just saw there. There's a number of the Swamp Motorsports cars in the field, so I'm not sure which one it was. Try and see if we can pinpoint it. Could have maybe been Jeffrey McClintock. Maybe Ryan Potter. Nope, it was the 6 of Blake Trawick. Sorry, make that Chad Winstead, rather. Watch this down the back straightaway. Lead car on that inside line is the 6. Watch this. Wow. That was a combination of Matt Muir and I think Dylan Body that flipped the 6 car over, and somehow he was able to drive away from the incident. Let's see how Bronson Stafford got his front end damage. He's behind Matt Muir, who we know was involved. Wonder if he maybe gets into the back of the 72. Who knows? There were so many cars moving around. Oh yeah, just ran to the back of him. Muir gets into the back of McClintock. Who was that was able to get around? Was that Shane Tyrion? I think Shane was able to swing around the outside of all of that. And subsequently, he was, I think, 3rd when they came around to receive the caution. I think there's going to be a bunch of faster pairs handed out this time with this first caution of the evening. Going to be 40 laps to go when we go back green. Carl Faust, I believe, is the leader. Either Carl Faust or Andrew Siegel, I'm not sure which one, as they did the choose cone. Shane Tyrion will be 3rd, Matthew Rodriguez 4th, and Dylan Body in 5th. For the faster pairs that were used, we've got Matt Dyer, Sean Billman, correction, not Sean Billman, Chad Winstead, Matt Muir, and I believe that was it, surprisingly. Oh, and your race leader, Andrew Siegel, actually also took on a faster pair. So it looks like 4 drivers in total there took on a faster pair under this first caution and do not have that mulligan to fall back on for the remainder of this race. It appears Andrew Siegel is indeed the race leader. So he'll be the control car when we go back green. He chose the top line here for this restart. He'll have Matthew Rodriguez behind him as a drafting partner. Not certain if there was a lucky dog under this caution. Jeffrey McClintock is a lap down. Tom Bourne is a lap down. Jason Shuey's back on track, but he is -2, and Wolf Stanwell still on pit road as the green flag flies once again. Not a good jump there for Andrew Siegel, as he'll tuck down into 3rd behind Carl Faust and Shane Tyrion. Dylan Body slots into 4th, and Shane's going to try something on the top line by himself. Watch this run by Matthew Rodriguez. Not going to give a big shove to Shane Tyrion, just tucks up right on the back bumper, locks those bumpers, give as much draft as possible, as much momentum going into the corner. Interesting, he had a lot of momentum, did Rodriguez, but he didn't punt the back of the 38. Matt Dyer there, and there's Dylan Poteet. For the most part, he was able to get through that first incident with very little damage. Got a little bit of damage when he was into the door of the 5 of Andrew Siegel, but now Poteet, caution in up here at the front in the 7th position. This caution was also huge for Michael Norman, Cody Boussard, and Cody Lamas. Boussard is right now in the 9th position. You see him on the inside line in the silver and purple 25. Michael Norman up here in 14th, and Cody Lamas back in 19th, but in the lead pack. Like I said, I was very surprised that we didn't have a lot more drivers take on the faster pair there were a number of drivers that definitely received quite a bit of damage. One of them that really surprised me was Bronson Stafford. I mean, how did they get that front end repaired? It was completely ripped off. Fast repair according to scoring, and he is right now in about the 9th position side by side with Ramirez. So, great repair job there by the number 61 team. A little loose there for Carl Faust with Andrew Siegel behind him. Shane Tyrion gets pushed to the lead by Matthew Rodriguez, immediately jumps to the bottom. This is something that we ended up seeing back at, I think it was Talladega in the season opener. No driver, if they got pushed to the lead via the high side, they did not stay committed to the line that pushed them there. They immediately jumped down to the bottom of the racetrack. And more often than not, it didn't really work out in their favor. You see right there, Shane Tyrion jumps from the top line down to the bottom, leaves the door open, and Matthew Rodriguez now, with a big look at Matt Dyer, he's almost in position to clear Shane Tyrion for the top spot. Looking towards the back of the pack, seeing if anybody might be off the pace, since we didn't have nearly as many drivers as speculated take on their fast repair, dealing with the damage they sustained, at least for the long haul, until we get closer towards the end of this race. Looks like for the most part, all of them are up to speed. Pretty good damage on the front end of John Poole III, Robert Kenny, but they're still up here in this lead draft. Appear to be running fairly well. Got about 2 seconds from the leader back to Cody Lamas, the last car in this group. Second position. Battle for the lucky dog right now is Jeffrey McClintock holding the spot. He's got about 4 seconds back to the 16 of Tom Bourne. Both drivers are running all by themselves. The 3 of Jason Shuey in between them. If Tom can reel in the 3, maybe can use him as a drafting partner to get up there to the 78. And vice versa, if Shuey could get up there to McClintock, that could help McClintock open up the distance back to Tom Bourne. There you see the distance between all 3 cars down the back straightaway. Matthew Rodriguez riding a very long winless streak here in the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series, stretching all the way back to when he was a 2-time winner in Season 1. That was Shane Tyrion for the race lead. Got a car making its presence felt in the top 10 for the first time here tonight. That's the 45 of Mike Tellier, a True North Toyota Supra, but a little bit different look. You see sporting the flames on that machine. Now True North is and there is a True North in the local vicinity of Mike Tellier that caught fire this past week. And because of that, the flames here tonight. Got that interesting backstory that during the broadcast. Pretty cool when we get those little insider stories, whether it has to be the driver, has to be the team, has to be the car. Matt Dyer, I think, has been maybe one of the best pushers tonight. Anybody he's been behind, he's been able to propel forward. He did it earlier with Tom Bourne, got him in the lead, and now doing the same with Matthew Rodriguez. He's had him clear a couple of times of Shane Tyrion, but Matt Rod has actually stayed committed to that outside line. Tyrion battling back on the bottom, though, with help from Carl Faust. You got 2 Toyotas leading the respective lines, getting pushed by 2 Ford Mustangs. Have that somewhat flatter nose, so makes it a little bit easier to be able to push. Got another Ford that's making his way up here almost into the top 10. The 22 Hertz Ford of Michael Norman, former winner, as we mentioned, in the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. That was back in Season 2. Might have been Season 3. Was competing for the championship in that conversation that same year. Much like the 25 of Cody Boussard got saved with that caution. Making his way up further towards the front in the lead pack. All the drivers of our 22 lead lap cars are still in this lead group. So that is good to see, despite the fact you can spot some visible damage on a number of them. We're going 3 wide. Carl Faust up the middle with help from Andrew Siegel. Oh, contact! What a save, Shane Tyrion! He and the 5 were door banging there through 3 and 4. Shane was all sorts of loose, and he gathered it back up, kept it going. Gosh, a couple of cautions here in the early going. Only 1 yellow so far tonight. Siegel, who was already taken on his faster pair. If that had been a wreck and he'd been caught up in it, that would have more likely been over. Despite the fact he's got the Energizer Buddy on his hood, I don't think that thing would have kept going and going and going. Matthew Rodriguez now, after spending a number of laps up on that top side, going to jump to the inside line. Matt Dyer is going to pick up Matthew. Oh, we got a wreck in the back. Andrew Siegel out of shape on the apron. There was another car that was out of shape. I think that was the 38 of Shane Tyrion. I wonder if these two got together again. That 5 looked like the toe might be a little bit off. Not sure. Stay green and we can have a chance to jump back and see what exactly happened to Andrew Siegel. Let's take the risk. Oh, looks like actually was looking to make a move on the apron below the double yellow line was Andrew Siegel on Carl Faust. And he gets denied right there, blocked. And has that low entry. Oh, clipped the 26 of Dylan Body. He was able to save it. And had that shallow entry on the apron, had to slow down, started drifting up the racetrack as we got to drive around pit road. That's Shuey. Nice job, nice save there by Dylan Body. Contact and avoid second caution of the night, at least at this point in time, nearing halfway here at Daytona. I believe this is an unscheduled stop for the 3. He was already 2 laps down. Yeah, I say it was an unscheduled stop, and yet he came down and I think might have taken on his faster pair. Only spent about 7.5 seconds in his pit stall. What we just saw there moments ago with that replay says split the field up. We've only got about 9 drivers up in this lead group now. And then it's a almost 2-second gap back to 10th place, which was the 6th of Chad Winstead. We'll see if that group's able to start closing up the gap. It looks like they are already. Yeah, they're already down from 1.8 to 1.6 in about 2/3 of a lap. So they are catching quick. That should bring that lead group all back together once again. Halfway in this race, when do you start thinking about maybe coming to pit road? So we don't know how far these drivers can go. Don't know if they will be able to drive up the pit lane as soon as the window opens to make it the rest of the way, or do you push it as far as you could possibly go and come to pit road, take on the least amount of fuel that you possibly can, spend the least amount of time on pit road as possible. As Matt Dyer now down to the inside here. Fords have been strong. We've had a lot of Fords out in front here tonight. Carl Faust is taking a turn out in front. Matt Dyer now out in front in the 2. That was up here that was leading some laps as well. It was. Might have been the 12. As this time by, we'll hit 25 laps to go at Daytona. And next week, it's going to be a double feature. We get 2 races for the price of 1, as we're going to be back at Talladega, the place that started it all, to begin the season. But it's the day of duels. We're going to have 2 races back-to-back, 30 laps each, and 2 drivers, well, potentially 2 drivers, will be going to victory lane and having the drivers sweep both events. Odds not necessarily in favor of that, but anything can happen. Well, that momentum lost on the apron for Andrew Siegel has cost him dearly. He now needs a caution to be able to get back into this thing. Don't know how much damage he sustained on that right front, especially when he got into the 26 of Dylan Body. But he is currently running 27-28 seconds off of the race leader. Only takes about 48 seconds to complete a lap here, so he's about half a lap down at this point in time. We continue under green, he's going to get 1 lap down very quickly. And I bring up the damage possibly sustained right front, because remember, he is one of the few drivers that have so far used a fast repair here tonight. So any damage repair that he would make on an upcoming pit stop would have to be manual repair. Toyota's on the top line. Rodriguez, Poteet, Stafford, and Tellier, all former winners here in the series. And then you got the Ford of Michael Norman up there as well. On the inside line, you've got Matt Dyer, Carl Faust, Joey Chapman, who I believe all 3 of them are looking for. Double check on Joey Chapman. I don't recall him winning. That could be incorrect. Oh no, he is a winner. He was a 2-time winner back last season. So apologies on that. As a matter of fact, he ended up winning back-to-back races. Talked about Dylan Poteet, how he was a back-to-back winner. Joined the ranks of Joey Chapman and Robert Kenny, who both managed to do just that back in Season 3. Kenny did it at Talladega and Daytona, and then Chapman did it at iRacing Superspeedway and Talladega. That's the Ford's on the bottom, the Toyota's on the top. Uh-oh. Carl Faust blinking out there for a moment. Quick disappear, reappear. Doesn't appear to have really killed the momentum of that inside line. Dyer and Rodriguez continue to lead their respective lanes, and they've continued to be side by side as whoa. Saw right there, both Dylan Poteet and Tellier push up about a half group there through 3 and 4. I wonder what they both felt. One driver who did not take a fast repair was Ryan Potter, second in points. He's 4th in the inside line. Watch if we can when he comes through this corner. Well, nope, they should change the camera angle on us. But there is no rear bumper on that guy. If you're Mike Tellier running behind him, what do you push? There you see. No rear bumper cover whatsoever. I'd say maybe another 2 laps or so, and I think they will have caught and passed the 5 of Andrew Siegel. He is right now about 12 seconds ahead of the race leaders. Hopefully when they catch him in a safe spot to be able to get by him without incident. As so far, we are about to complete lap 36, and we've only been under the caution 1 time here tonight. Granted, it started up at the front of the field, involved a number of drivers, but only 1 caution so far here this evening. Caution! Second time the caution flag waves, and Shane Tyrion is involved in it. Dylan Poteet, I think, was involved in the 31. Chad Winstead, Roberto Ramirez also, I believe, were collected up. There is the 6. Who already has taken a tumble here tonight. And there's the 42 of Ramirez, the JBL Supra. Might have been some others. Not 100% certain. The replay will show us. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. The winner from the last 2 races this season caught up in this one. Oh, I think we had some warp issues here, some gap whack, if you will. Someone disappeared. Might have been Poteet. Let's see. Oh, no. It's Ryan Potter. He got into Joey Chapman and turned him up into Poteet and company. And then the 31 disappears after he's spinning. Let's see how some of the others got involved. This caution going to be huge for Andrew Siegel because he was only a couple of laps away, maybe only 1 lap away from getting put -1. Watch the left side of your screen right there. Chapman is trying to come up into the middle. Ryan Potter's already there. Big hit on the right side from Mike Tellier. 6 of Winstead really didn't get involved that much. He just went through the grass trying to avoid. But watch the wild ride for the 47 of Mike Tellier here. I think he ended up getting the rumble strip that goes through the back straightaway chicane for the Daytona road course. Takes a pretty good plant into the passenger side door. Right here. Bam. Yeah, he went over that rumble strip, as did Ryan Potter. Look at him racing through the grass. Tellier back onto the racing surface, saves it. Potter, I believe, did the same, as did Chapman. That brings out the second caution of the evening. Don't know just how heavy the impact was for some of these drivers, whether they would have to elect to take on the faster pair here, past the halfway point, closing in very quickly on 10 laps to go. That'll be in the next 7.5 laps or so. As Chapman, Stafford, Tellier, Shane Tyrion, all on pit road. Sean Billman, Dylan Poteet as well. We'll see who's doing a faster pair, who's doing manual repairs. Looks like Dylan Poteet has taken on the faster pair. Cody Boussard in the 25, he's taken on a faster pair after his pit stop. No faster pair yet for Mike Tellier or Joey Chapman. Looks like they are going to continue on, working on manual repairs there. Robert Kenny, John Poole III, Dylan Body, they have all, under this caution, they have taken on their faster pairs. So might be of the assumption that's going to be the last caution we see here tonight. That'd be nice, but we'll see. Getting closer to that 10 to go, 5 to go, white flag lap. The anticipation, the aggression, it's definitely going to ramp up. It may not be done. We'll see the yellow flag here tonight. Before we go green, I want to amend a statement I made earlier. I said that this was the first time that we were racing the current Daytona International Speedway. That is incorrect. We actually, back in Season 1, ran at the current Daytona, fluctuated it between both the current Daytona and the 2008 Daytona tracks. It was Season 2 where we did the same thing, but we ended up running the 2008 Daytona track more. And then same deal in Season 3. We ran, I believe it was 2 races at the current Daytona. So I ended up saying that all the other seasons it was the 2008 Legacy version of Daytona that we ran. That was not correct. We ran both the current and the 2008 Daytona versions. If you want to know who the previous winners were, Jason Gracias, Matthew Rodriguez, David Durand, Ryan Hesgard, Mike Tellier, I'm sorry, correction, Bronson Stafford, rather, Ryan Potter, who ran a second time, are the drivers that have previously won at this track in this series in the 3 previous seasons. We've got a few of them in the field here tonight, including Bronson Stafford, Ryan Potter, and Matthew Rodriguez. Green flag back in the air, and we are back underway here with 15 laps to go. No, correction, 16 to go. Once the control car chose the inside line, that outside line very well formed, and there's the 2 of Matt Dyer. I think that's the best driver to have behind you if you're needing a push. And he's going to push Matthew Rodriguez out in front, with Robert Kenny going to follow in line in third. You saw the 32, our pole sitter John Poole III, drop to the apron, drop it to the back. Remember, he took on his faster pair under this caution. So trying to preserve that faster pair, maybe trying to get to a safe spot here. Wait to see what happens up at the front. Probably not liking what he's seeing right now. The 10 of Robert Kenny also took on his faster pair under this caution. See a new pristine Toyota Supra for him. He's got to make sure he's careful as we're 3 wide. That's Ty Smith coming up the middle with Roberto Ramirez and Chad Winstead. So now as we draw closer towards the end of this race, entering into the vicinity of 10 to go, these drivers getting a little braver with the moves they're making, and Ty Smith out in front. Robert Kenny, oh, contact! And there they go! That's Faust, Matt Dyer, and Roberto Ramirez bouncing off of each other, and the caution is going to wave for the 3rd time here tonight. There's Dyer in the 2, there's Faust in the 12. Got one in the grass, that's Tom Bourne in the 16. Who got the lucky dog under this most recent caution. Has already used a faster pair, more damage sustained, and also the 06 of Sean Billman. The Fastenal Ford Mustang might have been involved in this one. Let's go back and take a look. It was 3 wide down the back straightaway, and it just didn't work. A little bumper cars being played by the 2, the 12, and the 42. A little gap whack right there, it looks like. Rodriguez to Ramirez. There you saw the shot, Tom Bourne into the 12 of Carl Faust. It looked like Sean Billman might have gone for a spin in the grass. I don't think he hit anything. Watch the 5 of Andrew Siegel in this shot as well, the yellow and black Chevrolet. He gets into the back of Michael Norman. Norman gets sent down into Matt Muir. So a couple of other drivers involved that we didn't originally know. Yeah, Billman never hit anything, he just spun in the infield grass. And let's focus on the 72 of Matt Muir. Incident happening up ahead. See the 5 getting to the back of the 22. Wow, Bronson Stafford just squeaks through. Nice save there by Matt Muir. Got damage on that right rear quarter panel. but got away relatively unscathed. And our drone cam picking that one up. As with this caution, Jeffrey McClintock should get the lucky dog. And that will bring us to 23 drivers on the lead lap. Again, a reminder, next week the season continues as we head back to Talladega Superspeedway for the Dega Duels. 2 30-lap heats, potentially 2 different drivers going to victory lane here this season as we enter into the second half of the season. That'll be next Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get 2 races for the price of 1. It's the only time we're doing that this season. And we've seen in the past, we've done the duels before. They've played some very interesting parts into who eventually is in the championship battle by the end of the year. So I think you're going to want to tune into that one for sure. But we still got to see how tonight's race from Daytona plays out. As Ty Smith with that power move up the middle, got the race lead. Everybody did come down pit road, for those wondering. No, actually, correction, they did not. Top 7 did not come down pit road. From Ty Smith back to Sean Billman. 8th place on back came to pit road. So the question on those top 7, can they actually make it on fuel? Are they good to go? Did this caution period give them enough to be able to get to the scheduled distance? Maybe a little extra for a overtime green-white checkered or 2 or 3? Trying to get a Swamp Motorsports livery car in victory lane here tonight in the Swamp Motorsports 140. There's a lot of them up here at the front right now. 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th right now. See Rodriguez and Stafford coming off pit road. They topped off with fuel, it looks like. So did Mike Tellier and Jason Shuey. It's Ty Smith, the leader. Ryan Potter, former winner here at Daytona in this series, in 2nd. How about Chad Winstead? Right now he's actually in 4th. Kenny is in 3rd. Winstead is on the top side, but Winstead, last time we saw him at the front, he got hooked on the right rear quarter panel and actually went barrel rolling into turn 3. He does have a faster pair already used up, but good comeback. The driver of the 6. The Dylan Body, we saw him start up near the front. Rolled off the grid from the 6th position. Ended up getting loose from turn 3 all the way over to turn 4 on the apron. Saved it, but lost a ton of track position, and he has gained it back. Now going to restart in the 5th spot. Flag about to come back out. You got your rookie points leader Blake Trawick in 7th, and your current overall points leader Dylan Poteet in 8th place, as it will be 11 laps to go here tonight at Daytona. Robert Kenny's Toyota, big push to the Chevrolet of Ty Smith on that inside line. Middle line trying to get formed up. Another Toyota push to the Chevrolet. Ryan Potter's bow tie. And Chad Winstead's Supra. Shane Tyrion looking 3 wide there on the outside line. Carl Faust going to move up there, trying to see what's that's Shane Tyrion, looked like that was Matt Muir in the 72. Oh, blocked into the wall is Carl Faust. And we are under caution. I thought they were going to save it. They did not. Bronson Stafford has front end damage again. The nose is ripped off once more. Well, we'll go back and we'll look at a replay, but that looked like that was a very bad block on the part of the 12 of Carl Faust, who is now on pit road. Looks like he actually might have gone for a wild ride. I think the hood may be missing on that machine. That's the 4th caution of the evening. It's the third caution in the last 15 laps or so. We ran a good chunk of race, having only been under the yellow flag one time, but as we get closer to the end of this race, the moves are getting dicier, and the price to pay is getting greater. There you see the 12 makes the move up there to the top. Watch Shane Terry, and he's going to try and make it a little bit higher on the 12. Oh, actually, no, correction on my part. It wasn't the 12 that threw the bad block. It was Ryan Potter that threw the bad block on the 12. I called out the wrong number. Oh, gosh, and then, what the heck was that? Then Carl Faust, as the car's drifting down to the apron, pops up into the air and onto its roof. Almost kind of reminds me of that one, was it a Daytona race? Where Kyle Busch was involved in a wreck, and then very late in that wreck, he gets popped by Cole Witt and flipped upside down. There was no Cole Witt, no car in the area here for Carl Faust. But he has a very strange little flip. There you see, right there. Ryan Potter, I'm not certain if he knew the 12 was to his right rear. Watch right there. Right rear tire, or sorry, left rear tire rather. As soon as it drifted down and touched the double yellow line, the car pops up into the air. That is so weird. That's a tough break there for Carl Faust, who would have certainly been able to drive it back to pit road. I think he still had a fast repair available. I can't recall. No, I don't think he did have a fast repair available, because I'm looking right now and it says that he's used his fast repair and they're currently working on that race car, so he would have already have used the fast repair at this point in time, so that's a tough break there. But might have been a better situation had he been able to drive it back. Right now he is 2 laps down. I am not sure who the lucky dog is for this one. Tom Bourne got the lucky dog under the second caution. Jeffrey McClintock got the lucky dog under the third caution. I thought Cody Boussard was a lap down when we went back green, 1 lap down that is, and now they're showing him 5 laps down and still on pit road getting repairs done. So he must have just come to pit road not too long before we went back under the restart. So I think the lucky dog might be the 3 of Jason Shuey. I'm not 100% certain, but he has scored 3 laps down right now. We'll wait and see if he ends up getting one of those 3 laps back when we go back under the green flag. Ty Smith and those drivers that elected not to come to pit road under the last yellow, these cautions continuing to help them to save fuel under pacing. So they should be able to make it at least to the end of the scheduled distance. Whether they can make it for potential overtime green-white checkers, no matter how many we need, that still remains to be seen. They double up with the choose cone. Ty Smith will be the lone Swamp Motorsports car on the inside line, the Swamp Motorsports sponsored car, that is. Along with Robert Kenny. Outside line. First, second, third, and fourth car in line, all with the Swamp Motorsports liveries. You got Dylan Body, Blake Trawick, Chad Winstead, and Dylan Poteet. So Shane Terry will be the third car on the inside line. Sean Billman will be the fourth. So they will be 5th and 7th on the restart, respectively. And Mike Tellier is going to be, correction, Michael Norman will be 9th, and Mike Tellier will complete the top 10. When we hit the line, there'll be 7 laps to go in regulation. Again, remember, we do have green-white checkered attempts, should they be necessary. I believe they are unlimited green-white checkers. Double check on that, but I'm pretty certain that it is unlimited green-white checkers here tonight. Let's see if we're racing to the white flag or our next caution. We will find out here in just a moment. Just checking real quick to see about if indeed we are going to be running unlimited green white checkers. We'll make sure I'm not giving out false information. The green flag is back in the air. Remember too, that double yellow line is not out of bounds. Seen anybody utilize it yet. It's not to move forward. We've seen drivers that have dropped to the back of the pack, putting themselves down there out of harm's way. Whoa, that was Dylan Body blinking for a moment. In the race lead there on the top side. They go right back to work on trying to charge up to the front in that second lane. Robert Kenny shoving the 18 of Ty Smith on that inside line. Ty looking for the first win of his career in the series. Third in points as well, jumped up 7 spots in the standings after last week at iRacing Superspeedway. 102 points out, 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. Only 3 drivers have finished in the top 10 in all 3 races so far this season, that being Dylan Pote, Ryan Potter, and Connor Holden. Only 1 driver has finished in the top 5 in all 3 races, and that was Dylan Pote. We look to make a move there on Mike Tellier. Tellier moved up to block. They stay double wide, back around 7-8 rows deep. Contact there at the front, and that's going to force 3 wide. Oh, got to give room, and now the 26 is blinking again, even though he's gotten to the race lead. Oh, there's a lot of movement going on up here at the front. 5 laps to go here at Daytona. Somehow they got that all organized back up. Dylan Body now to the point on that inside line. Ty Smith has fallen all the way back to 8th. 4th truck on the bottom. It's Dylan Body and Blake Trawick duking it out for the top position. Both of these drivers, I believe, looking for the first win of their career in the series. Yes, that is indeed the case. Four laps to go. That lap led by Blake Trawick in the 56. Trawick was very instrumental, and got a car in the wall. It's Matthew Rodriguez, along with, I think that was Joey Chapman. But we stay green. Nobody wrecked. They just got up into the wall. But Blake Trawick was very much a part of Dylan Pote's victory last week at iRacing Superspeedway. Now he's trying to get one for himself. Chad Winstead right there behind him. Mike Tellier third on that outside line. On the inside line, it's Body, Kenny, and Shane Tyrion, who's had a very adventurous day in the 38. 3 laps to go here. 7.5 miles left in regulation. Matthew Rodriguez after getting the ball back. That is Matt Dyer that has picked him up, and they're trying to drop their way back up to this lead pack, but I think they're going to need a caution here sooner rather than later to get back into the conversation. Got a third lane foreman up there, or I thought there was. Michael Norman took a peek. Nobody really showed that they were going to go with him, so he tucks back down into the second lane. Now Bronson Stafford's going to make a move up on the top side 3 wide. Trying to get right here Dylan Pote. Nothing doing for him through the center of the corner. Coming to 2 to go. Clear for the race lead, at least for the moment, is Dylan Body on that inside line. He's going to stay committed to the double yellow line, but remember, that is not the lowest portion of the racetrack they can use the apron if they so choose, and I think it's going to be on the back straightaway if they make that move. But who is going to make that, and when are they going to make that move? Oh, not this time, because Body gets turned into the wall. Trawick is involved, and we've got cars littering the back straightaway. Caution's out for the 5th time tonight, and we are going into overtime. Body, Trawick, and Kenny, 3 of the drivers involved in that one. Shane Tyrion emerges as the race leader after the dust clears. And we're going over regulation and into at least one overtime green-white checkered. Now, I might be wrong, but I think that the race leader at the time, Dylan Body, was thinking the exact same thing that I was just bringing up, the fact that the apron is not out of bounds, and I think he went down low, about a half groove lower, to defend against such a move if Robert Kenny had thoughts about it. Watch here. Off of turn 2, watch how he pulls it right down there, right against the yellow line, then comes back up the track, and when he moved down low like that, I think Shane Tyrion had given a good push off the corner to the 10 of Robert Kenny. And Kenny was to the right rear of Dylan Body when Body came back up the racetrack and gets hooked in the right rear quarter panel. Let's take a look and see from our drone camera how Robert Kenny gets involved. Let's keep an eye on the 56, leading that outside line there. Blake Trawick, our rookie points leader. Watch this off the corner. There's the run by the 10. 26 moves low. 10's already there. Man, 56 goes up and over. John Poole, the third, I think, got a piece. Bronson Stafford involved again. I think that's the third wreck he's been involved in tonight. They just can't seem to keep the front end attached on his machine. And some big hits taken in this one. And again, another wreck that takes place up at the very front of the field. Let's try and find the 56 of Blake Trawick. Watch his wild ride here off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. I think he got the worst of this right there. Gets shot back into, up and over. Able to drive away, but a lot of damage sustained on that Ford. Somebody else further back there I just noticed that had gotten spun out. Who was that? Was that Matt Muir? No? That was Ryan Potter and Sean Billman. We had another incident. What happens here? This was in relation to what was happening ahead. Watch the 06 of Billman. Ooh, does he get a bump from Tom Bourne? Oh no, he gets hit by another of the Swamp Motorsports cars. Ryan Potter, Jeffrey McClintock also go for a spin. Is that Poteet maybe? It was a Toyota with the Swamp Motorsports sponsorship. But I couldn't tell which one it was. Let's see if the drone cam can help us out. Let's go to Billman, and I think it was Poteet. Yep. Tom Bourne got a piece. There's Potter sliding into Billman, who takes a good shot into that inside safer barrier. And you saw McClintock back there as well, having gotten spun out. Well, it may get to the point now where it's going to be easier to name off the drivers that still have their faster pair as opposed to those that don't. I think I'm going to do just that. Shane Tyrion, Ty Smith, Cody Lamas, Matthew Rodriguez. Those are the drivers right now. Those four are the only ones that still have their faster pair left. You've got three of those drivers now up inside of the top 10, and Rodriguez back in 16th place. Remember, Rodriguez got put up into the wall, courtesy of Joey Chapman after that last run. Surprised that he did not take on his faster pair right then and there. Nope, still has it intact. We'll see if it works out in his favor. As Shane Tyrion going to be the one to get us back under green. Chad Winstead will line up to his outside in second. Ty Smith there in third. He led us back on the last restart. Andrew Siegel now back up to the fourth spot. Dylan Poteet right there in fifth, looking for 3 wins in a row. No driver has ever done that in the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. Michael Norman is in 6th. Tom Bourne 7th. Pole sitter John Poole III trying to go coast to coast. He's there in 8th. 9th place Joey Chapman, and Cody Lamas right now completes the top 10. When we go back green, we'll have 21 drivers on the lead lap. We've got 22 drivers out on the racetrack right now. Cody Boussard is the only lap car that is on the racetrack. 3 laps down, Dylan Body. 5 laps down, Jason Shuey. 9 down for Carl Faust. And Wolf Stanwell, 54 laps down as he has spent nearly an hour on the pit lane. If the leader comes around and takes the white flag, race is official. We race back to the checkered flag. If we do not make it back around to the white and the caution flies, we rack them up and we do it again with another green-white checkered attempt. Some front-end damage on both the 38 and the 6 here. Let's see how that affects them as we get ready to go back green. We're in overtime here at Daytona. Which line moves? It looks like that inside line is better for. Andrew Siegel did not get a good jump, did not get to the back bumper of Chad Winstead. Now they're going to have a push. Look at Bronson Stafford. High, wide, and handsome, 3 wide, trying to make something happen. He's got some friends up there. Can they make something happen for the race lead? McClintock's up there. Trying to make out who the other ones that are up there with him. That's Blake Trawick in the 56 and Roberto Ramirez in the 42. We might be 3 wide for the lead here off of turn 4. And are they going to make it to the white? Yes, they are. 1 lap to go here at Daytona. We're 3 wide, 4 rows deep. This cannot end well. Stafford edges ahead on the top. Over the 6 of Winstead and the 38 of Jay Tierney. And we're wrecking. Tom Ford, Sean Billman, and others into the wall. One's up and over. They're almost into our camera shot. We still racing back, though. Which lane prevails here down the back straightaway? Drone cam gives us the idea of which lane is moving. It's Bronson Stafford with a push from Jeffrey McClintock. He clears to the bottom. Oh, contact. There goes Siegel around. Off the nose of Tyrion. It's a 3-horse race at the front. Stafford versus Winstead versus McClintock. Michael Norman in 4th. Not enough time, I don't think, for Winstead to make a move. He tries it, but Bronson Stafford is going to become the 3rd different winner on the season. The 2-time champion finds victory lane for the first time in Season 4, and it's tonight in a thriller at Daytona. Well, Bronson Stafford, the man whose car forgot what a front end was for pretty much the majority of this race, involved in about 3 or 4 of the cautions we had here tonight. They continued to put that front nose back onto that Matt Muir Designs Toyota Supra. And a power move there, 3 wide on that final restart. A lot of drafting help. Got him to the front, to the lead, and he did not look back. Bronson Stafford's last victory in the series came all the way back March 20th of 2022. That would have been the 4th race of Season 3, where he was a 2-time winner that season and, of course, was the eventual champion, marking the 2nd championship of his Baadteshop Superspeedway Series career. And the Toyotas continue their dominance here in the series. 4th straight time that a Supra is burning it down, and tonight it is at Daytona. I wish we had the stat, but I'm pretty certain Bronson Stafford may have led only 1 lap here tonight, and it was the final lap. He might have led the lap coming to the white, because they were 3 wide, and I think that top line prevailed, but it wasn't very many laps, I know that much. 1, maybe 2, and we got a little fracas going on there with the teammates, Matthew Rodriguez, Matt Muir, Robert Kenny, celebrating on the front straightaway there with Bronson Stafford. There's Joey Chapman entering into the vicinity there as well. And we'll be talking with our top 3 finishers if we can in just a few moments, as we'll now take a look at the finishing results from tonight's race at Daytona. We are now officially halfway through Season 4. Chad Winstead and Jeffrey McClintock both making their first starts on the season. Great debuts for both drivers as they come home on the podium with Stafford. Michael Norman, his return to the series, gets him a 4th place finish here tonight. Ty Smith brings it home in 5th. Shane Tyrion in 6th. Robert Kenny in 7th. Ryan Potter was 8th. 9th, Joey Chapman and Cody Lamas completed the top 10. Ryan Potter came into this race second in the point standings to Dylan Poteet. And where did Dylan finish? He finished down in 20th place. It's an unorthodox point system. Might be an opportunity for both, actually, Ty Smith and Ryan Potter to gain some points on Dylan Poteet heading into the Dega Duels next week. Tom Bourne, Matt Muir, John Poole III, Andrew Siegel, and Matt Dyer completed the top 15, I believe, from 13th, 14th place on back. These were drivers that were involved in some of those incidents there on the final lap of the race, and drivers were just trying to salvage what they could, limp their race cars back to the start-finish line. Matt Dyer, 15th, Matthew Rodriguez in 16th, Blake Treywick, the rookie points leader, in 17th, Mike Taylor, Sean Billman, and aforementioned two-time winner Dylan Poteet came in the points leader, finishes 20th here tonight. Here's the rest of your finishing results. Roberto Ramirez, the last car to finish on the lead lap. Cody Broussard, Dylan Body, Jason Shuey, Carl Faust, Wolf Stanwell, multiple laps down. As Scott Puckett did not grid up, he'll get credited for the 27th position here this evening at Daytona. Now let's see if we can head on down to pit road and dial up some of our podium finishers here tonight. Let's kick things off with tonight's 3rd place runner, Jeffrey McClintock. Hey, Jeffrey, Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
A great debut for you here tonight. A wild one here at Daytona. Kind of seemed like things were nice and settled down the first half of this race. Then we get to the second half, have that caution. Did you just get the feeling things were going to ramp up as we got closer to the end?
Well, yeah. Well, I spent the first half of that race caught a lap down. I got involved in that first wreck. It's really just tail of not giving up the whole race. Finally got back on the lead lap when that big wreck happened with about 15 to go. And then was able to drive up to 3rd.
A wild finish here tonight, that green-white checkered. We saw you guys stacked up 3 wide, 4 or 5 rows deep coming to the white flag. Obviously, we saw you were one of the drivers that utilized that 3rd lane. Big momentum up there. We didn't see the 3rd line really work at all tonight until the closing stages. What was it different about that stint where you guys were able to find that speed, find that momentum? And why do you think that lane might not have been used in the early portion of this race?
I think once you get to the end of the race, guys are just going to do whatever it takes to make something work to get to the front. Because the middle wasn't really working at all in the middle of the race. But if you can make those runs happen up top, you could make a lot of hay. I saw a few guys get to the lead that way.
You talked about being a lap down, getting that lucky dog, being able to get back on the lead lap. How difficult was it here tonight, especially since you had that long green flag run near the beginning of the race, to kind of pick and choose when was the best time to utilize that faster pair?
Well, I didn't really have much of a choice there. I destroyed the car in the beginning, so I just had to take it and take care of the car the rest of the way.
A great run for you here tonight. Picked up 10 spots from your starting position of 13th to put it on the podium here this evening in your debut in the series. Congratulations on a job well done. Before we let you go, we're going to give you the opportunity to thank some sponsors and do some shout-outs, Jeffrey.
All right. I want to thank all my teammates at Team Trap House, Team Swamp House. We all worked together really well tonight. It was unfortunate we couldn't get one of us in victory lane, but all in all, it was a great night. Yeah. Had a lot of fun.
Jeffrey McClintock, great run here tonight in his series debut. 3rd place under the lights at Daytona. Congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can talk to another driver who had to utilize his faster pair to get back into the running. Brings it home second place this evening in his series debut, Chad Winstead. Hey Chad, Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, a wild race for just about everybody in the field here tonight. Different stories with each particular car. Let's talk about this number 6 here this evening. Very strong up there at the front in the early going. Got involved in that wreck while you were leading on the back straightaway, up and over, had to take on the faster pair, but worked your way back up to the front, had a shot to win this thing. How difficult is it when you have something like that happen with the unpredictability of super speedways? You get involved in a wreck, you have to take that mulligan faster pair, and you kind of have to be on pins and needles and carefully work your way back up to the front.
Yeah, pins and needles is a good way to describe it. From there on out, I just tried to run a smart race. You know, kind of the second half of the race, I was really backing off, trying to let the accidents happen in front of me, and it paid off. I avoided a couple of wrecks there, a couple of really, really close calls, and was able to get up there. You know, it takes a little bit of luck sometimes, and happened to get on the outside right there, coming with a couple laps to go, and had a good run. I mean, we were right there at the end. I was able to avoid that massacre. Just didn't quite have the run to 61. I had a great move on the outside there. Just couldn't quite get him on the front stretch there, but it was close.
Now, we've documented this is the first season that this series has used the current Xfinity cars. The past seasons used the legacy Xfinity cars. And one of the big things that we were told at the beginning of the season, and we really saw, especially in the last couple of weeks at Atlanta and at iRacing Superspeedway, was the stability of these race cars. It just doesn't quite seem to be there. Here tonight, though, it seemed like the cars, at least from the spectator point of view, were a little bit more stable. The draft was able to be a little bit tighter. The side drafting seemed a little bit more prevalent as well. Was it the track? Was it the nighttime conditions? What do you think it was that kind of led to what appeared to be somewhat more stable racing at Daytona?
I don't know. Maybe people are just getting used to it. This is actually the first time I've ever ran in this league, so I'm happy with the position that I was in. But yeah, I don't run these cars too often, but it seemed to me the car was fairly stable. I imagine that the nighttime conditions and track temperature probably had a little bit to do with the grippiness in the tires and whatnot. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I have a blast running these things when I do, especially here. But yeah, the tape configuration was the big thing tonight. Is you know, the iRacing update, I guess, changed the tape configuration. So there at the end, I actually blipped the throttle just a little bit going into 3 there to see if I could back off and get just enough of a run on the 61. It turns out that probably wasn't the move. But you know, if I had 0% tape, it might have been a good move. But I don't know. It was still a lot of fun. I don't know what all caused them to run as smooth as normal, but it felt pretty good to me.
I got to ask you, you were one of 2 drivers that made it the furthest on that last stint. You didn't come to pit road from the 3rd caution onward. How much further could you have gone on fuel if we had continued to be in these overtime green-white checkers?
I would have been pretty good. I had probably about 10 laps of fuel, so I was pretty set on fuel. You know, I unchecked the auto fuel and just put, I think, like 8 or 9 gallons in that last pit stop. So I was pretty set on fuel. I was actually hoping for maybe another green-white checkered or so, but yeah, I couldn't have asked to be in a better position. It was kind of wild getting pinched there in the middle there at the end, but yeah, as long as I finished a super speedway race, I'm happy.
Well, finish indeed you did. 2nd place here tonight in your debut. Congratulations on a great job there. Got to be out in front for quite a number of laps here tonight as well in that Toyota Supra. Before we let you go, the floor is yours for some thank you sponsors and shout-outs, Chad.
Yeah, thank you for Dylan Body for the invite for tonight, and Swamp Motorsports for having me up, and had a lot of fun racing with these guys tonight. And we had a lot of cars, as you saw in the field. So it's kind of fun to parade around with them and represent the Swamp. And, you know, thanks for my wife for letting me run tonight and tuning in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for broadcasting.
Well, that is Chad Winstead. Brings it home 2nd place here tonight in his series debut. Congratulations and best of luck next week as we prepare for the Dega Duels.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see if we can now go down to victory lane and see if we can get Bronson Stafford first victory on the season as he looks to defend his 2 previous championships. Bronson, Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got me?
I do. Hi, Seth.
I'll tell you what, last season, you came as the defending champion. We didn't wait long to see you go to victory lane. You won the season opener. You made us wait a little bit here this year. Waited till the 4th race of the season here at Daytona. Came into this race 9th in the point stands as well, but going to be certainly jumping up back into maybe getting another championship, going for 3 in a row. But gotta ask you, because we saw it visibly, I want to know from the driver's point of view, how in the world did you get that third line to work? Because we didn't see that third line utilized hardly at all tonight. We saw maybe in the final 15 laps a couple of drivers peek out as if they wanted to use it and tuck right back in line, but it seemed like as soon as we got into that overtime green-white checkered, a lot of drivers, including yourself, wanted that third line to work, and work it did.
I think my biggest thing was I burned my fast repair there entering that overtime, so I just had a brand new car and was able to like accelerate a little bit more than everyone else, and I think everyone through the field had a little bit of damage regardless, or was like saving the fast repair until they got wrecked in the big one. So it just kind of was able to go. But I think a lot of it in general with overtimes when it's so short, the cars are still so slow that you can build a lot more momentum just without having to lift for a guy in front of you or something, but you'll need a person behind you, and McClintock jumped up and was able to finish the push that I needed to finish getting to the front from starting 15th to get into the lead. So
we haven't been able to yet interview you this season. First time that we have you appearing on the podium. But I got to ask you, coming in as the defending champion, these have been some of the biggest fields that we've had in the last 4 seasons. Have you had to adjust your strategy, your approach to these races in your attempt to be a 3-time champion?
I want to say no, but like the biggest change is the car. The field size doesn't matter too much. It's just the car is a little bit different, and then they updated it now too with tape settings and stuff like that. We can't even run 0 anymore, so they're even a little bit more different than when we did the first couple of races. It's just kind of been a weird start to the season. I just haven't had a lot of luck, honestly. Like Talladega, we had a strategy, and half the team sped on pit road, and then we didn't get another yellow. Yet when we looked at lap times, if we were all together in a pack, we were going so much quicker than the field. So we did the right thing. It's just execution wasn't there. And then we had issues at Atlanta with just getting wrecked late, and it just so not too much has changed in terms of like strategy. It's just the car's so much different, so people are racing it differently. So you can't really rely on the same like late runs or stuff like that. It seems being the leader has a bit more control just since the runs aren't as strong. But no, there hasn't been a lot of luck really.
Now, we're picking up the victory here tonight at Daytona. We talked about the fact that this is going to be the race when we come back here a second time later on this season that's going to basically set up the championship scenario. So what were you able to learn here tonight that you're then going to be able to apply when we come back here to Daytona to put yourself back into a championship picture for a 3rd time in a row?
Idea, if I'm honest. I think when we come back here, it's going to be daytime. So we're not going to be able to push even as long as we were tonight, and it wasn't even that long that we could push tonight. Qualifying might be way more important, trying to control the line. The top was pretty solid tonight. It just, you had to stick with it kind of thing. It's just that the temps were so hit or miss with it. So the daytime, I think daytime, the low line might be a little bit stronger just because of the engine temperatures, so qualifying might be really important, but I don't know what we can take from it, honestly. It was just kind of, we had speed, we could go through the field, it was tight racing, and then, we just kind of got lucky with no one being on the wall with a brand new car while everyone else had a little bit of damage. I don't think that otherwise we would have got up there.
Well, finally, not as much a question, but an observation. I think you need to pay your pit crew a little bit extra here this week because we saw that front grill area, that nose, get ripped off quite a bit here tonight, and they managed to do a pretty good repair job putting that back on every time, even when you weren't doing the fast repairs. So they kept that thing aerodynamically sound.
Yeah, no, it was good. The car still felt fine after I started with a minute of damage, got another 30 seconds, and the car still drove fine. I couldn't get up to speed right away, but once I was up to speed, the car was fine. I couldn't lead a line, but I didn't really need to. Everyone was doing it like around the field in front, so it was all right being able to save it till right at the end.
You were definitely able to lead a line in that final green-white checkered up to the front, stayed at the front, and pick up your first win on the season. Congratulations, Bronson, on the victory here tonight. Hopefully this kind of gets your season turned around in the right direction as you look to be a 3-time champion in the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. Before we let you get back to your celebration, the floor is yours for Victory Lane. Thank you, sponsors and shout-outs.
Yeah, obviously the whole Sky Motorsports and Hula Monkey crew, there's a good 8, 9, 10, whatever of us that work together really good. That's really what it came down to. Like we had teammates, we had good speed all across the board. It was just figuring things out the proper way to do it. Obviously Matt Rod and Mike run. This is fun. Like Superspeedway racing's fun. It's been a bit more stressful this year with the car, but they do a good job putting it together, doing as best they can, and making it as fun as possible. And then obviously you up here, Seth, broadcasting by yourself, doing a great job always. They're always fun to watch. So just, everything that makes it happen. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Bronson Stafford, your winner here tonight under the lights at Daytona, picking up the victory in the Swamp Motorsports 140. Congratulations on the victory, Bronson. Go and enjoy it, and best of luck here down the home stretch as we enter into the second half of the season.
Yeah, thanks, Seth.
And that's going to bring our coverage to a close here tonight from Daytona. Hope you guys enjoyed our coverage. Bronson Stafford becomes the third different driver to go to victory lane here in the fourth season of the UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. And we now will be heading back to the 4 tracks we've been to so far. Talladega next week with the Dega Duels. We then head to Atlanta Superspeedway for a second time. Back here to Daytona. As you heard, it looks like it's going to be in the daytime conditions, and then the championship decided in our second trip to iRacing Superspeedway. Drivers have given themselves a bit of a foothold here to prepare themselves to battle for the championship in 4 weeks' time, but who will emerge victorious? You're going to have to tune in each week and find out. Next week, as we mentioned, it's 2 races for the price of 1, some 30-lap heats in the Dega Duels to kick off the second half of the season. Be sure to tune in to that next Friday night. Green Flag will be flying at 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I should say the first of 2 green flags in that one. I've been Seth Cole. Thanks everybody for tuning in here tonight as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.